Hey everyone, this is ReefPrince with the results of my first ever Kaijudo tournament. This took place in the Comic Asylum at Richardson, Texas, and we had 9 people. We did just a casual 4-round Swiss, $5 entry, and we got a booster pack, and we were all fighting over a single booster pack. The winner of this event got a booster pack. I brought my friend Billy, and we showed up about 15 minutes early and kind of chatted with the people. I used my Fire, Darkness, Water deck as I talked about last time. I have the deck list right here. I'm going to go ahead and put it up real quick. Nothing's changed, really. I talked about taking out the 3 Ghost Spies and putting in a pair of Scared Doorables and a second Morna. That should be reflected there. But of course, I went over that last time. So I'll just get right on to it. As luck would have it, I had to play Billy the first round, so that wasn't super cool. He's playing a light water fire aggro deck, and I've been having some success with that deck. It's actually mine that I loaned him. I was having some success with that deck pre-Rise, but I haven't really used it since this whole pool of new cards came out, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, and I'm not sure how this matchup in general is going to be. So we get started, and he applies some good early game pressure, of course, because that's what aggro decks do. The trouble came when I attempted to play my Morna on turn 7, and he teleported it. Then I played it again turn 8, and he teleported again. And then on turn 9, I tried to play Morna, and he Veil Vortexed. So now I'm behind 3 turns, which is awesome, and he's gotten me to the point where I have to start answering his creatures and not play my big nasty. By the time I've been able to take care of his forces, I am down to no shields, and I have no blockers at all. I use Crystal Memory to search out a Scared Doorbell so I can put him on the field, so I have, something. I eventually, as I'm trying to mass up forces, I play a Razorkinder to look at his hand. He has a Comet Missile, he has a Sunshock, and he has an Ice Blade. At this point, I have my only 2 Scared Doorbells, and he has 3 blocker removals. So, I get rid of the Comet Missile, and come to the realization that he has enough mana to where if he draws Heal a Flame, he will just win. But I don't have enough to push in for the win yet. So I let him go on his next turn. Fortunately, he doesn't draw a Heal a Flame or anything. On my following turn, I go double Heal a Flame, and I swing in for the win. So I did take care of round 1, but I got down to no shields, and that was terrifying. As if game 1 wasn't scary enough, game 2 was even worse. It went about the same. I was able to keep a Morna on the board this time. The problem was he had a couple of Aqua Commandos that I couldn't really get rid of them. Like I had my Morna and I had, some dudes, and he just kept resummoning this pair of Aqua Commandos every single turn. And I have no shields. I'm trying to mass up forces, and I can't end a turn with him having Aqua Commandos on the field. Otherwise, I'm just, I'm a chicken. I'm worried he's just going to, draw everything he ever wanted and just beat me outright if I leave him with creatures on the board. So I went to list all of the crazy, desperate things that I did in order to prevent him from having Aqua Commandos on the board. I barraged the pair of Aqua Commandos twice. I Razorkindered one of the Aqua Commandos, not the discard, the one that banishes. I used Terror Pit against an Aqua Commando, and by the time I had just run out of options for dealing with the Aqua Commandos, I mean, I have the Morna, but that only does 1 at a time. I had to swing in again, but it worked out. Fortunately, that deck was not updated with Rise, so he didn't have Stormspark Blast. I think the match would have gone a little bit differently had he had them, because, you know, I was up against the wall. I had no shields. One Storm Spark Blast would have been, you know, the difference between victory and defeat. So I did end up winning that first round. After winning the first round, I actually got a bye the second round, which is not supposed to happen whenever you're 1-0. As it turns out, my match result wasn't entered correctly, so I had to sit out the second round because I got a bye. He would eventually correct it before the start of the third round, so everything was, you know, back on track. But that didn't stop me from spending the second round in my car. I played against Carl round 3, and as you know, the match results were corrected, so we're both 2-0 at this point. And it was... I really have no words to describe what happened other than it was a brutal, brutal beatdown. Or as Carl might tell you, was sweet, sweet justice. Because I gave him the beatdown yesterday, and he just is going to knock me right out of this tournament. It went... He played so smooth and so well both games. It was turn 2 Spectre Claw, turn 3 Logo Scan, turn 4 Fumes, turn 5 Glue Urgle, and from turn 6 and on, just picked me apart, and I was unraveled. It was really rough. He just brought the hurt. It was awful. He ended up beating me in 2 games, and that's how round 3 went. Round 4, I played against Eric. Now, Eric is an old Duel Masters player, so it was really cool to see him at this tournament. He used a light, water, darkness control deck. That was pretty neat. I thought it was a nice flavor to see. A lot of our movements over the 3 games were very mirrored, which was strange because he used light and I used fire, but we still had a bunch of the same stuff going on in our games. Unfortunately, I don't remember a lot about game 1 other than I won. That is my memory of game 1, is that I was victorious. Game 2 was kind of interesting because we're trading, we're going back and forth, we're trying to keep each other's resources tapped down. You know, I used kill spells to get rid of his stuff, and he used tap down to get rid of my stuff and attack me with his, you know, big light blockers, because light blockers are really good at that. Nearing the end of the game, he has a couple of Keeper of Clouds and some other blockers, and he has a Keeper of Dawn on the board. And he counts the number of cards in his deck. I was like, oh no. He has 10 left and I have 8. And this is when I realized that he's going to try to deck me out. He didn't deck me out. But as soon as I realized that and tried to start swinging back, he just killed me. So I feel like he tricked me. That sly Eric. And what was ultimately depressing about that game was I looked into my mana zone and realized that I put my Crimson Wyvern into my mana zone on the very first turn, and that would have been so helpful had I not just thrown him away so carelessly. But oh well. Game 2 went to him. Game 3, I ended up winning Game 3, but it was one of those, I don't remember any of the details of it. I just know that I, you know, got the win. And that was round 4, so I ended up going 3-1 that tournament. Overall, I had a really good time on Sunday. It was a great tournament. I feel like I did well. I feel like my deck ran well. I probably won't be making any major changes to it. I might make some minor tweaks here and there over the course of the week before the next tournament. For next time, I'm going to try out some different things with the video, and also try to take a little bit better notes, because I know round 4 in particular, I don't remember a lot of what happened, and Eric played a really good game, so I'm sorry for that. I will see you guys next week. I'm ReefPrince.